Okay, folks, it's Babbaginator. Let's see. We are back after a long week of working on various things. Trying to wrap up my school stuff. I am finally free. Okay, let's look at what we got here. We got stuff we don't need and stuff we do need. Okay. Let's look at that here. So we got extra hats. It's a big storm outside. We're not going to go out there. Sounds like the wind just died. Nope, still kind of gusty out there. Takes too long. Let's drop that. Let's switch to the better shoes. Drop these.
I need to eat soon.
Where do we want to go? 38. We're down at something almost manageable. Okay, how are we doing for other gear? Let's see. We are still... That's right, this run we still have no bedroll. No bedroll. Oh, just for those of you joining us right now, if you're not familiar with me, I'm Babbaginator. I'm a Long Dark streamer, mostly Outerloper player, although I did start off in... I played Stalker for around 750 hours before I switched over to Outerloper. And have been playing the game for a long time, probably since late beta, before the official launch of the game, official release of the game, but not quite all the way out to the super early days, although I've seen some footage from that time. Canadian streamer based in Vancouver, BC. And we are trying to figure out where we should go next. I am leaning towards a trip to... we'll give you the challenge as well here for those interested. We're doing Cave Dweller. I've updated the challenge description to reflect what we're currently doing, which is that at the start of the run, we roll a d6, so a 6-sided die. It tells us how many days of grace are we allowed, where we can sleep indoors. But the harsh reality is most of the time we're supposed to be sleeping outside. We are not allowed unless we've got a grace day left, which I think we've used up. Yep, we've used up all our days, so we have to sleep indoors, sleep outdoors somewhere. Which may lead us to building another snow shelter at this point, or fire and a... Okay, so we have... I think we already did the barn too, didn't we? Let's see, Thompson's Crossing... Yeah, we already did the barn. Okay, so I think we're going to Coastal Highway. It's Coastal Highway or Signal Hill, and I don't think there's a bedroll at Signal Hill, so... I'm just gonna go this way. Wolf over there. They add a house? Oh, it's boarded up. I was like, what? I don't remember that house. And of course it's boarded up, so obviously we can't get in it. So.
I'll take it.
Oh, more food. Okay. Oh, this house is actually open for a change.
This'll come in handy.
Yeah. That seems like trouble. Hey, thanks, Prussian. I appreciate it. We have an extra night, which we may or may not use right away. Thanks again. How are you? What have you been up to? I had like a week off while I dealt with a whole bunch of projects and presentations for... I don't know if you've been following, but I'm back in school doing a master's in library science, and so... yeah, I'm the old guy in the program. But,
I'm not gonna be able to carry this.
I'm going well. But I did have to be responsible and get stuff done. Okay, we're gonna... we'll be wise and we'll eat our, why is there a fresh rabbit in the... Okay. Don't ask too many questions. I already ate it. You should be coming looking for me. What's up? What's up, Buttercup? Go away. Go away. Hey, no worries. No worries. Give you a free shout out in case you ever decide to start streaming something. No, I had a bit of a nap this afternoon, so I should be not nodding off, at least not right away. Yeah, it feels good to be winding down. At the same time, I'm like starting. 2 weeks, starting my 3rd week into a new job. The new job is pretty chill. Basically, I work with a team of people. I'm on this team at the university that we're called the Digital Scholarship in the Arts team, and it's basically support for faculty and graduate students who are developing or maintaining or trying to get off the ground various research or other sort of projects that they're trying to get existing in a digital space. So they need, oftentimes people in the humanities don't have technical backgrounds, so they arrange for a consultation with us, and then we come up with solutions and then train them on how to maintain whatever we come up with. So like, we're basically looking for things that are minimal computing, relatively easy for them to learn, but at the same time, ethically responsible, and designed for longevity. But then we also end up in these problem-solving modes where, like, someone has an existing blog or website. It was built, a number of years ago, and no one's maintained it. And suddenly things are breaking because they didn't do any WordPress updates, and now they need someone to go and figure out why it's not completely working and solve some of the problems. So I did that last week, which was kind of like getting to be a detective again. I like detective work, honestly. Not like I've ever been a professional detective, but like as like a former, computer games programmer, I do like figuring things out. Like something's not working, debugging it, figuring out why, as well as coming up with clever solutions so that things keep working. Hey Laszlo, welcome. I guess I'm the one that's coming back after a week. But yeah, good to be back. My schedule should be a little bit more consistent from now on. All the big projects and presentations and speaking engagements are out of the way for now. So I am free. Till I leave on the 19th. Yeah, I know. It's kind of fun, I mean, it's the same thing. I try to tell writers, sometimes I tell writers that's actually secretly why I enjoy editing and working on other people's poetry manuscripts or creative writing projects. They hire me to troubleshoot, and really, all I'm doing is I'm debugging their poetry or their short story or their novel. I don't necessarily tell them I'm debugging it, but basically that's what I'm doing. Is that like running it through my mind as I read it, looking for where it breaks, trying to figure out what's or if there's like inconsistencies or logical problems, or if there's or if there's anything else inefficiencies, things like that. I'm like looking for those type of things. Because it's analytical work, right? And the creative work is coming up with the poem or the story in the first place, but the editing work and the revision work is actually very much an analytical thing to do, and not everyone's equipped to be able to think abstractly or think architecturally, like just thinking about their whole work as a system or as an architecture, or how it works functionally. Be able to dismantle it, think about it in that way, reassemble it again in a more efficient, effective, manner. It's a different set of skills. So, or like pattern detection, discovering like You know, someone is unconsciously favoring particular type of language or images, or there's like a recurring motif that they haven't really noticed. Just calling it out, and then asking them how they want to use it. Pointing out like opportunities that exist. You know, it's like, well, have you considered what would happen if you put this next to this instead? And there's this type of synergy that happens here between these two different pieces that you wouldn't get, you know, when they're currently separated by half a book. You know. Okay. Coastal Highway. So I think our goal is to get through here, come out on the other side. Thanks to... Oh, that was... I need to add that in here. Hold on a second here. We have our second sponsor here. So we have a chat lifeline. Look at that. Thank you. So we could sleep indoors if necessary. We can also... Oh, we don't have a bedroll, so we can't do the hack where we sleep outside the tower, the lookout tower, because we need a bed. So I think we will have to sleep probably in the blue trailer on the other side. Was it blue? It's whatever trailer it is over there. But we want to keep moving. Movement is good. Stay too long, we die. For a second there, I thought it was like a fire. Someone else has been here. So tonight's sleep has been brought to us by Depression.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Probably should have made more torches. We're going to go back and make some more torches because I think we're under 10, and the last thing I want to do is dawdle, run out of torches, and then get stuck in the middle of this. So let's make a little fire out here. Pull some new torches. Okay, we've got lots of books. I had a conversation with the guy I'm subletting from this summer,
I'm gonna eat a tree.
and unfortunately he is unable to move out early, so that means I'm going to have to move in on the 28th at 7 a.m. is the current plan. We'll use some books here. We'll keep our sticks just in case. Is there anything else I want to burn? I'll burn that one too. Okay. So, yeah, I was hoping it would move out like a day early, or at least give me half a day to move. But I have between 7 a.m. and 12 noon to get out of my current place, and I know it's going to take me more than one trip to get all my stuff over to the new place. I am going to probably have to call in some favors and see if I can find some good, kind-hearted friends who are willing to spend their Sunday morning all helping me move stuff over. They have these convenient carts. Like they're basically these dollies, but made up as these big boxes on wheels. And
Walk with this much gear.
they're Okay, we want to go the other way. Yeah, so they should do the trick, but I think I'm going to need at least 2 trips with them. And the problem with the 28th is it's also move-in date. So, you know, if you wait too long, you're going to have to compete with everyone else that's moving in for the summer. And that gets kind of messy. Ah, stim. Happy day.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Ooh, running shoes. Yeah, let's see if there's a coal this way that we missed picking up. No. Really hoping for a bedroll over on this side, but who can tell, right? Who can tell where we find that bedroll? So this past Wednesday, I got to be a featured reader. I was actually not the headliner. My good friend Eling was the guest of honor. She's a new book of translations and essays. She translates Chinese poetry into English. She's also a sci-fi writer. That is a fun combination. And so she was having her book launch, and she had asked me and another writer if we would share the stage, and she brought on a moderator as well, and so we had a panel discussion about translation. We talked a bit about her book, and we talked about our relationship with our languages, the languages we grew up with, the languages that we've forgotten. Yeah, it was great. We had special musical guests who were performing classical Chinese music on the guzheng and the erhu. The erhu is the 2-stringed instrument that you sometimes hear sometimes in sort of these how can I say it? These melancholy or meditative moments in martial arts movies. You probably will hear the erhu or the guzheng both. The guzheng's like a long, stretched out instrument that lies flat, and then you pluck it, and then the erhu is a bowed instrument. You play with a bow, and it's just 2 strings, but oh man, can it produce amazing sound. But yeah, so they performed. We have
Getting a bit thirsty.
toolbox? No, we don't. We don't have a toolbox yet. Okay, let's see. So they performed, and my friend Eileen read from her book, both some of the excerpts from the essays and some of the poems, and talked about why she chose these particular poets to translate. They were all very interesting people, and the poems were all really outstanding. I'm biased. I wrote one of the blurbs for the book. But yeah, it was great. I read a mixture of poems from my second book. I think I read something from my first book, something from my second book, and then some new poems as well. And the other guest read, the other reader was reading an essay as well as one of the poems from Eiling's book. But yeah, it was nice. Nice to step away from being a student and go back to being a writer for a little bit. Gotta be almost out of here. How are we doing for matches, anyways? Oh, we got one match left. That's the problem. Okay. We have a flare and one match. That's going to be fun. I think that's the reason why we had to leave, was we had to get matches from somewhere. And we're hoping Coastal Highway is kind to us and give us some matches. Otherwise it's going to be a long, 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 and dangerous trip. So yeah, we could build a snow shelter up here. But I think we might just sleep in the trailer. The trailer is like the easy spot to get to.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Yep. Yeah, we have lots and lots of water. We should just keep drinking it. Definitely glad we stopped and made more torches. Because we're getting slower and slower. Yeah, won't bother. Well, that's a dead end. We do want to go down there. Slow and painful it is. But yeah, reading on Wednesday night made me want to write again. Something I have installed on for a while, like short of working on the opera. I guess I'm not stalled, but I've been working on other things. We're working on the opera and working on the interactive fiction game. I have not done very much work on either fiction or poetry for some time. And I kind of want to get back to it. I'm really excited about the summer. I'm really excited to have some time for myself. Because I will be just working for the first 2 months. And that means I have time, not just to stream, but also to work on my own projects, do some writing. Easy to get myself distracted, but this will be good. We got a lot of coal. Any guesses? I think it's probably 40 something now. 43, yep. Oh no. It's a storm out there. Okay, we're gonna lose our match. We use our flare. We only have one match left and one flare. And we can't start fires in here. And we don't have a bedroll, so we gotta go somewhere. Okay, we'll do this trick here. Let's take a look and see how bad it is. That is a full-blown blizzard, but we have visibility. We can steer in this. And this is wind blocked right now, so... What is it? About to grab the wrong torch. That would have been funny. Oh, there's a pry bar. I was thinking it wasn't in its usual place. Okay, so we're here, Coastal Highway. We're low on torches, and we have too many pieces of coal. So the best thing to do, I guess, is to start winnowing down our collection and adding some more torches here. 4 hours. We didn't need to do that, did we? We could have just dropped our extra coal here. See if we can drop, I don't know, maybe 8 of them. We'll move a little faster now. Okay, let's place our stuff on here. Potato! Potato! See what we got here. That's crappy. Okay, so we're at 12. Let's take a couple more. What else do we have here for food? Risk it? No, let's not risk it. Let's we'll eat this one though. Try to clear out some canned goods. We're under 50. I mean, seriously, what we could do is we could stick our snow shelter here. Got enough cloth. Enough cloth, enough coal. the snow shelter at. They let us put her anywhere. I don't think we're gonna get it. Oh, I thought I saw it. Nope, don't think we're going to get it. Okay. I mean, we could do this. We could put another coal on the fire. Then wait inside here for an hour and see if the storm stops. Uh-oh. Okay, we just made a stupid mistake. Where's the exit? We thought we were being clever. We ended up doing something really dumb. Where we are.
I think I need to lie down.
This is really dumb. I hate myself. I'm gonna have to use the torch. So dumb. So dumb. I was being clever and then it wasn't. It was dumb. Do we have any coffee on us? Yeah, we do. Just try to buy ourselves a little bit of entertainment. So, in the morning, we'll have exactly one match. Yay! Oh, great.
It's so cold. I just want to lay down for a bit.
No, we got a free stay-in from Depression, but we still don't have a bedroll, so is trying to avoid having to use it. But we're gonna have to stay in the trailer here. We couldn't figure out where to place the snow shelter near the mine entrance. I think they blocked it off, so you can't do it. So, at least not close enough to where the fire was already going. I guess we could have moved it, but then we would have risked having the fire go out. So we have one match for all Coastal Highway until we find another pack of matches. Got a lot of coal. So we're already going to have to use the free sleep that the Prussian got us. Appreciate it, but boy, it's gonna be rough. Need that bedroll. So slow. There it is. Do we have a hammer? Share. Nope, nope. Okay, there is a bed here. See? We're not crazy. Okay, let's do it. Full recovery. Let's hope there's matches in here.
Starving.
Okay, so we already used our lifeline. We're back to having nothing again. Let's see here. Nothing in here. Definitely want more matches. That'll help, but not as good as matches. Okay, I think we're out of luck again. Okay, so let's see, we're sitting at 51. Let's drop that. One match. One match. We need to lower ourselves a little bit. Let's drop that. We don't have a hacksaw yet, so we need all the extra metal we can. We still don't have a hammer. One of these cans. And then we'll drop the can. No hammer. There's a few options. We're gonna ditch this guy too. Okay, now we're under 50. We can at least move. There are places where you could build a sheltered fire and sleep. There should be at least... There's one cave, but you have to climb to get to it, so I'm not going to use that cave. If you don't have a bedroll, you are pretty limited though. You can't even sleep. One of the ones that's surprising is you can't sleep in the cockpit of the plane crash near the Quonset, like up past behind the Quonset, up the hill bit. That plane crash you can't sleep in unless you have a bedroll. So you could build a fire there, but you can't sleep there. But you could always, like, if you could, like the one I usually do is oh no. That's it, folks. We're out of matches.
I'm starving.
We're out of matches. Now we're really, really banking on there being matches at the tower. And that the wolves will go away. No wolf surprise. Let's hope this blizzard works. Yeah, this run could be over. I should have warmed up those teas just in the event of getting hit by this blizzard. I didn't think we were going to hit with blizzards back to back like this. But yeah, out of matches now. No maglins, no striker, not even a lantern. We can't even navigate our way through the mines if we don't have fire.
Did I say I hate being cold? Because I really do.
And we found out from last time that it's too dark inside the mine. Well, actually, it's daytime. We might be able to see the exit.
Wait. I'm so cold. I'm warming up a bit.
Oh, this run. This run. You know, there's a part of me that just wants it to stay like this blizzard so we don't have to deal with the wolf on the way. The downside is we just take a lot of damage. Yeah, I know. It's our coal greed, right? We don't want to let go of the coal because that's what we need once we have the. We could stay alive for a long time with coal, but it's also going to kill us because we're moving so slowly. So we'll probably end up doing a coal dump. At a convenient place. So yeah, you asked if there's a cave, if there's an indoor, well, let's see. If we had a bedroll, another place you could sleep in is, there's a cave, which is a rope climb down from the tower. But we don't have a bedroll. Can't do that. Yeah, there's vehicles. You could sleep in cars. I mean, my favorite solution to this is you build a fire in the tiny space between the car and the Quonset. That is like a little U-box that only a direct windstorm that slams down immediately from the front is going to blow out that fire. The rest of the time it's perfectly sheltered. So you could build a fire in there. It's pretty well sheltered, and you could sleep in the car. That's it. That's the only one that I know of that's pretty safe to do. And then after that, it's pretty rough. Without a bedroll, it's pretty much impossible. You just have to do snow shelters, right? So if there's matches here, then we might have a chance. If not, I think this run's going to be doomed. One way or another, it's doomed. Alright, we'll worry about acorns on the way out if we make it. For now, we're just going to make our way. Up here and hope for matches. Maybe a fire striker. Something to give us a chance.
Where can I find something to eat?
Okay, we're gonna dump some of our coal here. Get a little bit faster now. Yeah, the weather definitely decided to kill us on this one. Why am I picking rose hips? I don't know. Come on, matches. Let there be matches. Let there be light. Lovely, there's a rope here. Oh, we have the hacksaw now. But I am not seeing matches. Okay, we are officially screwed. Okay. Need to warm up at least. Okay, what's the plan? What's the plan? Hacksaw, but no hammer and no matches yet. Okay, we'll try this thing. We should have cooked more coffee when we had a chance. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, we'll go inside, we'll rest for another hour. And we'll climb down. We'll check the cave, see if there's anything in the cave.
I've never felt so cold in my life.
We're not going to sleep. We're just going to rest in the bed because it's warmer. Okay. We got some light. Got a break from the storm. What we'll do is we'll climb down there. We will check and see if there's any matches in the cave. We'll have to dump a bunch of stuff to get down there, but I mean, we could also build a snow shelter. Just be cold. Yeah, I don't think that's a wise idea. Okay. Okay. $41. Still too heavy. Well, I guess these are kind of useless to us, right? Unless we get some torches. I mean, unless we get some matches. So let's just whittle that down. Likewise, these are pretty useless to us because we're too hungry to eat. I mean, too hungry to read. Keep one around just in case. Yeah, ditch that.
It's dusk, so that can't be far behind.
This is... Drop an extra pound. An extra liter. Okay. If I remember correctly, there should be a cave down here. Oh, there's an aurora. Lovely. More ways for us to die. It's not even that deep of a cave. Matches. That was a fail. That was a fail. How do we wish to die?
I need to find food.
Okay, I guess what we're doing is... Uh-oh. Yeah, what's our plan here? Do we have a plan? Is it just all fail? It's all fail, I think.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Let's see if this is a bad idea. Okay, we have a shelter now.
God, I could eat a horse.
It's better than nothing. Can't make fires. Should have made the pancakes when we had a chance.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay. This could be over. We'll try our best. Let's see. We'll just YOLO it. One way or another, this is over, right? We got to figure out how to get. Did we make it? Oh, what in the world? We made it. Whoa, we YOLO'd it with no fire outside in Aurora. I'll take that. Let's see. What else can we tear up? Oh, we're cold. We're super cold now. I think we should exit. Go inside. I don't think we'll dry out very much in there, but we could try. Yeah, so we just checked that cave on the climb down, and the cave is not deep. It's super shallow. It is not sufficient to shelter in. So, yeah, our best bet is just to get some matches somehow. Okay, let's go for another 2 hours.
Oh, I've never been so hungry in my life.
Man. Why? Why with the wind again? You guys are just cold. No, I'm cold. Okay. Try another 2 hours.
Oh, I'm starving.
It's too gusty for a torch anyways. Okay. Time to get clever.
I'll die if I don't get some food soon.
Welcome to the No Match, No Flame Challenge. We've got to get someplace with a bed that we can sleep in. Or a bedroll. So our best bet, I think, is actually to get to the closet and hope there's a bedroll in the closet. Not that I have a lot of faith in that, but... if we stay camped here, we're just going to freeze to death because... yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. Well, I guess we should grab the acorns while we can. Though we can't really cook them either. Quonset will have water. That'll be our 39. How much coal do we have right now? 19. I mean, it's not going to really matter. We could try goading straight down. We need matches. Quonset, I think, is it.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Let's not goat down. I think we are past the wolf. There might be a bear. If the deer's out, it means that we're pretty safe. Oh, we're walking into the wind. This is not good either. Yep, turning into another blizzard. Yeah, I just feel like this is going to be bad. We'll get to the Quonset and there'll be no time to do anything. Then we'll have to sleep in the car outside the Quonset and we'll freeze to death. We need those matches.
My fingers feel numb.
Now, where's Mr. Bear? No matches. Nothing. Okay.
I think I can use this.
How much cloth do we have? We have 9 still. Swap out for the newer jeans. Try to wait an hour. Okay, we're somewhat warmed up. Okay, we're going to take a peek over and see if there's a bear out or a wolf out. And we'll see if we can get down there. Yep, figures. We can get water at least. Spray paint. I'm gonna skip that. Book. Skip that.
Perfect.
Wow. Looky, looky. Cracker boxes.
This will come in handy.
Come in more handy if we actually had matches. No, it's just not very useful. Okay. So downstairs is a strikeout. Upstairs. Let's see what we got here. Struggling to have faith in this. think we're coming down to the end of the line here. It's the last run that goes from here to the Quonset, and usually means you have to get past some wolves, and I just don't feel lucky. Okay, let's go down. Once more. Try to get over there. At least there wasn't a moose. A moose would have been bad. If we're lucky, the wolves will not be on this side. They'll be on the lake, or on the water, on the ice. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen matches in a car. remember, you used to find them sitting on dashboards and stuff like that. I feel like now don't encounter them here as much. Hey, Bug. You're coming into our stream at an interesting point. We are just arrived in Pleasant Valley, but we've got a problem. Or not Pleasant Valley, in Coastal Highway. We have a problem. We're out of matches. We're out of flares. We're trying to traverse this without fire. And we have to sleep outdoors. So, joy. Okay, let's give you guys a shout out. But yeah, good to see you. I was gone for most of this week with other projects and things.
It's like, if I can take
Yeah, you
one
definitely hit him. I could see that blood spatter on the ice from there.
Wow, do you see that moose flying? Where's it going? Do you
What?
see that? Look at that moose.
Oh my god. Oh!
It totally just flew up in the air and now it's coming back down into the trees. What was that? What?
Oh, it's gone.
What?
How am I doing? Pretty good. We're winding down the end of this semester. I've got a couple short reports to write, but I've essentially finished all the projects, and so it's really light work that's left. I have a short presentation to do. Like, when I say a short presentation, I mean like 3-minute, 2-minute presentation tomorrow. It's basically, look, this is the thing I've built. And then I have to turn in sort of the documentation around it, so. But this run is in a dangerous place right now.
Oh, lucky day.
We may have plenty of coal, which we've ended up stashing in a lot of places because we couldn't carry it after a while. But we cannot sleep indoors, which is putting a crimp on our style. Let's see here. Another sewing primer. Anything else? Usually have something underneath here. We don't need that.
I'll take it.
Really. They're just taunting us at this point. Giving us fuel, but no flame. I don't know how we're supposed to get out of this one. But yeah, so the current challenge, we're doing this thing I call Cave Dweller. We've made a slight modification to it, in which we allow chat to purchase extra indoor sleeping times. So we've had, look at that. Okay, so that's, that won't solve our problem with starting a fire, but it will give us the ability to go through the mines and the caves if we could avoid being killed by wolves.
Thank you.
That's a big F.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Still no sign of matches. This is a matchless run. Well, not quite. We had one or two boxes of matches. But anyways, we're down to none. Oh, no worries. No worries. I'll probably be wrapping up in another half an hour, I think. We'll see. We have to figure out where we can take Astrid. Because most likely we're going to die in our sleep since we can't start a fire, so... Question is, where? Oh, unless we get lucky and we find matches here. I think sometimes we get lucky and find matches. Is there anything on the bottom shelf? Nope. I guess we could use the lantern, see if we were missing anything. Okay. More cooking oil, which we do not need. Do a quick pass through to see. We don't want to miss stuff like the free food here. But yeah, Raiders, welcome in. I'm Babbaginator. I am a Canadian streamer based here in Vancouver, BC at the moment. A writer, a former computer games programmer, a big D&D nerd, and published author, number of different things. So feel free to ask me about all sorts of stuff. I'm game. Okay, what are our options here? It's almost nighttime. We're going to have to sleep somewhere. Winds are terrible. Come on, matches. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Otherwise, we're striking out. Okay, let's see how we look at right now. We're at +7. As long as it doesn't go into a full-blown blizzard, we'll probably be fine here. Okay, stuff we cannot take with us. Really makes no sense. Pile of 10 coal. Yeah, we still don't have a bedroll either. It's just such a weird run where we're like, we have some good stuff finally, but we're really hurting on essentials here to make the run work. Uh-oh. Is that the wolf coming? Bear coming? No, it's just a tree stump. So, almost nighttime. Still warm enough. Might make it. Might not. Just don't have any, Okay, we'll search again in the other side of the room. Other part of the garage and see if we can find anything that we missed. Like, look, we missed this over here. So that's a win. Just the mediocre ones. Whetstone. Any matches we missed? It'd be really nice to see some matches around here. Oh, we forgot to check these guys. Okay. Fire striker? Nope. Okay. Oh, we got so many ways to start a fire, except for we can't start a fire. Okay, let's drop this guy. Lots of sewing kits now. Let's drop this guy. Let's drop this guy. What can we do here? $44. Well, you want to get down to the last quarter. Quarter stamina, so you're almost tired completely. And then we should be able to get a better rest that way. Hopefully not get sick from anything we eat here. Okay, I think we'll take those with us. Alright, we're gonna try. Once again, YOLO. Four degrees. Oh, the things we do. Shall we go for... We'll try to go 6 hours. Usually before it gets cold, right? And that worked out okay. Get another sleep in for another hour. Yeah, we're doing the trick. We're doing a trick where we're sleeping in the car without a fire, hoping we can make it. It has gotten too cold for us to do that. We do have a lantern now, so we at least can navigate. You're cooking a bite to eat and drop the bowl. Oh no. Oh, that sucks. Food's expensive these days. You can't afford to drop stuff. No hidden matches anymore, huh? It's all these fuses. I would really, really love to get matches somewhere. But there's no match dispenser here. So we'll just wait out. The bowl broke too? Okay, let's try another hour. I wonder if we can... if it'll be warm enough for us to sleep in the car or not. Or should we just march? See how bad it is out there. Oh, it's not too bad. Problem is there's wolves out here. And it's too cold. Okay, we'll try this one more time. You know, the problem is the wolves have spawned in now. And the wind is going. At this point, all I can do is move. Hope that we find matches somewhere. Usually nothing in the back seat, except for clothing. We might try to cross the ice, too. I don't know, this is pretty sad. Oh, Astrid, why did we sign up for this ridiculous challenge? Nothing but pain. Nothing but pain. Potato. Okay. There's potato for our pain. Someone just left. If there were more smokers in Great Bear, this would be much easier. Fireplace. No matches. No matches on the table.
God, I'd eat anything right about now.
So now we're getting into the new territory of suffering because we don't have fire, so we can't actually cook. We can get new water from looting this place. That will help. But it's not going to solve our long-term problem of not being able to cook anything. Why are lighters not a thing? Yeah, why aren't they here? Yeah. We're gonna just take some cloth here because we're gonna need it. What's the plan, Astrid? What's the plan? How are we supposed to survive this? Okay, how much cloth do we have? We have 13 pieces. That's definitely enough to make another snow shelter. We do not need extras. Oh, we will be nibbling on all these guys. Guess we can spend some time repairing.
Can you eat trees?
13. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we're really certain where we're at. What's our best move here? I know where there's matches. Just such a gamble to get there. Okay, so there are usually matches in a cave in there's usually matches in a cave in Crumbling Highway by the arch. Just got to get there. But problem, we don't have any matches, so we will have to hope that we don't run into any wolves while we try to go get those matches. Otherwise, it could be game over. At least getting to Crumbling Highway is not going to require me to use any torches or my lantern. But once I get to Crumbling Highway, I will have to use the lantern unless I get those matches. Unless I get those matches, I have to use the lantern to get through the cave. I mean, the mine connector. So. Build a rock cache. Armor and camo. It's just not a good insulator, though. They're cold. Well, I guess if we had a fire, we would heat them up and then they'd be nice and warm. But until we do that, they're just really, really cold rocks. Of course there's a wolf. No, don't come this way. Go on. It's gonna turn around and come back. What's he doing? Pay no attention to the astrid on the hill. Uh-oh. That's not gonna matter anyways. Oh, don't come back. Can't see me. No one here. I'm just a tree. Just a tree. Pay no attention. I
never thought.
This sucks. I keep breaking my... Try to sneak past. If I don't look at him, I don't exist. Alright? Oh, another ankle.
I'm gonna need some first aid soon.
Yeah, we're taking advantage of the nice weather to get through here. Hey Tommy, welcome in. We are doing this silly challenge where we have to... we primarily sleep outside. Let's see, where's the challenge list here? We updated it to reflect the current state of the challenge, which is that... so it's Cave Dweller. At the beginning of the run, we roll a six-sided die that tells us how many days we're allowed to sleep indoors. After that, we have to sleep outdoors. We're allowed to loot buildings. But, oh, and chat can buy us additional indoor stays, but it's expensive. So, we already used a chat-sponsored stay at the beginning of the run, or beginning of tonight's stream. So now we're back to having nothing left to survive on. We still don't have a bedroll. We're out of matches. We have no flares left. We're trying to get to Crumbling Highway to get to the one pack of matches I think I might be able to get a hold of, but it's probably going to be really, really tough since we're going to have to dodge some wolves to get there. Yeah. So even if you have a lot of points, you can't just buy an infinite number of for like a lot of extra stays for me. It's on a 24-hour cooldown. Yeah. Well, originally the challenge was simply that. Well, the very, very first iteration of the challenge was Cave Dweller. You're allowed to loot buildings, but you must sleep outside. And I could not break 24 hours for the longest time because I kept not finding bedrolls or matches. Like either one or both of them were a problem. Sometimes I had matches and then I wouldn't be able to find enough fuel to stay alive for the night. So I changed it so that it was then like, oh, you get one free overnight stay in the first 24 hours. And that helped. That got us some longer runs. But it did leave us with this problem, this perpetual problem in which we, since we only had one indoor stay allowed, that meant that if we accidentally, which tends to happen at the end of the stream when I'm tired and looking for a place to wrap up, if we accidentally clicked on a bed and slept indoors out of habit, it instantly invalidated a run, even though it was like a really, really great run. So chat suggested that we have a little bit of a buffer and make it more like there's a small number of days available, that so you have a buffer if you accidentally sleep indoors. The first mistake is not throwing away the whole run. The first mistake you would probably still have a buffer to keep you through it. So that was helpful. But this run has been really rough. We spawned in Timberwolf Mountain. And then got to Pleasant Valley, and then now we're in Coastal Highway, headed towards Crumbling Highway. Still no bedroll, still no hammer. Just desperately looking for matches. So we've done things like we slept in the car outside of the Quonset overnight with no fire and made it through. We slept in a snow shelter next to the lookout tower at the top of Coastal Highway when you come in from Pleasant Valley. We slept in, where was it? We slept in a snow shelter at the base of that. Oh, we did have matches. We just had some really bad luck with, we had some misstrike problems. Oh, that was terrible. I wasted so many matches on one day. I just wasted like 4 matches. I was like, oh no. And then we got a second box of matches, and they lasted us longer. We're on like day 6 now. No, I guess we've only had 1 box of matches for this run. We've only had 1 box of matches, and we're out. So we had 12 matches, and they're all gone. That's not good match management, you know. But we did get to the plane crash, so we got decent clothing. And we are relatively warm. At 13 at this stage is not terrible. No, sadly, still no hammer. I was really hoping for the hammer to be at the trailer on the way down from the Pleasant Valley entrance. But we found a hacksaw, so we do have a hacksaw. But no matches. We couldn't even forge if we wanted to, because we can't start a fire. Isn't that sad? That's really sad. So we're really hoping on this, let's go grab the saplings at the very least, right? Oh yeah, I forgot to check around the Quonset. We didn't really want to risk sticking our head out too long because we knew the wolves were going to pop back in. The first day I got there, I didn't say wolves out, so, but it was, yeah, I should have done a full loop, but I didn't. But yeah, I have no way to defend myself right now. Absolutely zero. And no way to scare off wolves. So this is just like requiring me to be super sneaky in all my ways of trying to avoid wolves. Pick up another stone. Just in case we have to. I think I saw someone do this trick where they threw a stone at the wolf's nose, and sometimes that will scare off the wolf. So even if we get to the cave that has the matches, oh, I guess if we get to the cave that has the matches, we'll be able to light our torches, and we can then defend ourselves, or at least scare off wolves until we get into Desolation Point. Or circle back. I mean, we could circle back and try for the... try to find the hammer. Yep. We're doing this because there are matches. Yeah, I think that's the other reason why. If we get our matches here, we may push on just to get the bedroll in DP. Because there is a good chance. And if I have fire, I can get the bedroll. I don't like this. I can't see wolves coming for me. Not a good feeling. Can we wait it out somewhere? Someplace with no wolves? Another option is to build a snow shelter. Wonder if they would let me build a snow shelter up here. Nope. Do I not have enough sticks? I need one more stick. Yeah, we could try doing that. Yep. Like, it's tempting to go do some beachcombing too. Right now, we need to stay focused on our goal of getting to the arch. Let's see it up here. All right. Yeah, somehow I don't think a hammer washes up on the shore. That's not like a thing, right? Okay, there better be matches here. Like, most of the time, there's matches here. But one time we came here and there was no matches. Yeah, you can see them. The matches are here.
This'll come in handy.
Woohoo! It certainly will. It certainly will, Astrid. Okay. No, actually, we should probably not throw it and attract wolves. Okay, so let's see. We don't need to carry all these stones right now. Okay. Next step, we gotta make it to a base, someplace with a bed. Well, actually, we just need to make it to someplace where we can build a snow shelter. So we want to go to the mine. The entrance into into Desolation Point. And we will put a snow shelter down. There's a pretty sheltered place there we could make use of. So we have birch, but we still don't have any maple saplings. Gotta keep an eye out for the maple saplings, and a chance to get guts down here too. But I think we'd rather do that. I think the next stream we will grab the guts and instead focus on getting to safety first. Yeah. How are the studies? Things are going pretty well, I would say. It's pretty much the end of the term. I've got class tomorrow where we have to do like a short, like 2-3 minute presentation on the web project we've been working on. So I've got mine basically done. I have to do a little troubleshooting on one little thing that I added in kind of last minute. But the web page isn't due. It's for my digital documents design class. The web page isn't due until next week, I think it is. And I have to turn in not just the web page, I have to turn in a report about what I chose to do and how I chose to implement it, and any things that I would do differently or that I realized I just was out of time or didn't know how to do. This class is pretty much an intro class for people who, the web design side of it is really for people who have no experience. So I'm way overqualified for this. But I have never taken a formal design class especially for web design. And so, and document design. So I figured that's the part of the class I really wanted to have, was introduction to design principles, rather than like kind of intuitively putting things together and trial and error figuring out what was right and wrong. Having at least some guiding principles for doing that. So yeah, so like the final project is build a web page that serves a particular, like, just determine who your audience is, who the user is, designed for that user base, and it should use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for interactivity. And so yeah, I built something that I'm mostly happy with at this point, but it definitely goes way beyond what's necessary for complexity. Yeah, so I'm happy with the end result of that. I just have to fix a couple style things, so it kind of fits what I want. So that one, yeah, so I just have a short presentation where I just show kind of the current state of it and what I chose to do, and then
I'll take it.
what else is there? In my database design class, we database design class has been pretty good as well. That's a group project. Put the fire here for now. Just use these to get them out of the way. Need more sticks. Okay, let's dump our extra coal here. So yeah, the database design class, we just have to turn in our final, there's no report, there's just a readme file and a zip file with all our database stuff in it. Yeah, that's the problem. So, like, maybe I'll show and tell what I've got so far, before we wrap up here. I need more sticks. I need, that's one. Oh, we might as well check the cave too. And we should check and see if there's a, whatchamacallit, a bin over here. Ooh, Frozen Angler. It's a really popular book. It's all over this place. Yeah, my problem is that I have shifting. I start working on something and then I like, it keeps sliding. The window keeps sliding. The goalposts keep moving. I keep thinking about new things I wanted to add into it to make it better. And so rather than finishing a complete prototype, I will keep redesigning. It is not surprising that I studied Charles Babbage as part of my dissertation, because I am very much like Babbage in that respect. It's like, I'll keep innovating past the point where I really should just settle down and finish the first draft of whatever I was doing. Okay, still got a little bit of daylight left. We should definitely use it to build our snow shelter. Just want to try one more time to see if we can find a few more sticks. It's really tempting to cook up that deer. Super tempting. Okay, the answer is we have enough food right now. So we should not touch the carcass. Oh, except for we want the guts down. That doesn't matter. Guts cure comparatively quickly. We'll be okay. You've been wanting to learn how to program. Like, figure start learning, building an API that converts spreadsheets to JSON with good start. Turns out, it's that's a little bit more complicated project. The Laszlo problem is I know what I want my programs to do, but I don't have the patience to get the skills. Yeah, I think, you know, probably one of the hardest classes I ever took in my undergraduate computer science class, or course, program. I had a class that was called, it was an upper division class, it was called The Theoretical Foundations of Computer Science. And it was nearly incomprehensible. It was very, very theoretical. And so it introduces you to things like universal tape machines and a variety of other like theoretical constructs that we use to test out the validity or the viability of different programming concepts or algorithms to see, like, is this programmable? Oh, we also talk about, like, whether, like, what's the computing difficulty and what's the computing time. And some things are deemed as, like, they are computable, but they take too much time. And other things are determined to be, like, computable quickly. And other things are determined to be computable or not computable at all. And so what was valuable about the class was that we ended up learning... You end up learning to recognize what was whether or not something like a particular idea was actually doable. So if you could, it happened once when I was working as a computer games programmer when someone came to me and said, "This is what we're going to do for the." This is what we want you to add into the program or add into the game. We want you to add in, because the problem is, like, these are lower end machines because they're kids games. We're concerned about crashes, and it's really disappointing when we lose the state of the game without having any way to restore it when they start up again. And so they said, can you make it possible? Can you do it? Change the game so that change the code so that it will, detect whenever it's about to crash, that it stores the state of the game so that it can restore it after the crash. And I listened to the description and I recognized it right away as like an unsolvable problem. And I was like, the short answer is no. We can't do that, and here's the reason why. And then I explained to him that in order to do that, you basically have to run a parallel version of the program. So an identical copy of the program that's 1 or 2 steps ahead of the program that you're running. And so what happens then is what you want it to do is when it crashes, it sends a message back. But it can't send a message back because it's crashed. So you can't get a communication from that copy that's trying to run in advance. So it doesn't work. So what we end up with instead, the solution that most...
Look for shelter.
Why is it so hard to put this thing down? Come on, guys. Did I put it in the wrong spot? Oh, you know what? It's because I have all the coal here. That's why. Oops. I hope I didn't mess it up by putting the... Okay, come on. I've done this plenty of times before. I know it's doable. I know this is doable. Come on. Why are you punishing me? I'm trying to be clever. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I should have made the fire closer. Oh well. Let's see how close. Is this close enough or not close enough? Probably isn't close enough. Not close enough. Okay, we have to move the fire. Pain.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
Okay, so let's see here.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
So we're going to get a bunch of coal when we go through, so we're not worried about using up coal here. Yeah. There'll be plenty of coal. I keep forgetting we want to put stuff down in here. Interesting. So, like the mistake I made with the current project for my class was originally I thought the professor had suggested that I consider using this as an opportunity to stretch, and she said, "Well, why don't you write something that reads in from an XML file and displays that?" And I thought, oh, that sounds like a relatively straightforward thing to do. And so I set up all the data that I wanted to, all the content, I coded it up for an XML file. And I'm writing this in JavaScript. And, for the interactivity portion of it. So it's like, okay, I'll just read it in with JavaScript. And lo and behold, after like a day of beating my head against the wall trying to figure out why I couldn't get it to read, why it was throwing all these errors, I started digging into the errors. It's like, oh, it turns out that JavaScript can't read a local file unless both the JavaScript file, like the HTML, the JavaScript, and the XML reside on a server somewhere. They cannot be local unless you run a local server. And since I have to turn in the files, and they have to be run locally by the professor, it's actually not possible for me to read an XML file. So then this is where it went from like being a relatively So this went from being like a relatively straightforward thing to do to me writing an entire. So I ended up storing the content that I wanted to be able to switch between, like these different. Basically, I wanted to display a Chinese poem with multiple translations that you could cycle through. And the content would have the translation. It would also have the translator's name, a brief bio for the translator as well. And so that you would cycle through this, and it would just pull from the XML file or from the array that it had built from the XML file. So instead, I had to basically code it all in JavaScript. So it stores these like arrays, or they're kind of like complicated array systems that I could then pull the information out to display. And yeah, it was so much more complicated. I mean, I did learn something. I guess the mission accomplished. It forced me to stretch my JavaScript to a different level, something I hadn't used. I really not spent a lot of time doing object-oriented JavaScript in the past, and so I ended up doing a lot of that, and a lot of other things. Okay, these are crappy. We can put the potato down. Let's see. These potatoes are barely worth eating. Oh, but we do have the ability now to do pancakes, right? Do we have pancakes? No, we don't have pancakes. Okay, so take that back. We can make oats. I think that's what we could make. Porridge. We can make porridge. I'll show you what it looks like in a little bit here as soon as we get our potatoes done. Okay. Good enough. Okay, what are we eating? We are eating porridge. Let's eat these guys. Oh, we can even go with food poisoning there. Let's try that. We get food poisoning? No food poisoning. Okay, take that. Oh, no worries. Hey. Sometimes I do streams that are all coding when I'm working on my interactive fiction game. Hey, we did it. Fire did go out, but we made it. Okay, so huzzah, we made it into the new day. Okay, we're just gonna we'll craft these last two things, and then we're going to we'll save, but we'll okay, let's see here. Let's sleep for another 2 hours. Yeah, I think we pulled it off really well. Okay, so we're saved here. It is day 7. We made it 4 days so far. Tonight's stream, we made 4 more days, and we're alive. So that's great. We've even found a box of crackers, which we haven't eaten yet. So that's good too. Let's see here. Day 7. 1 box of crackers. Okay, so hold on a second here. We're going to do a little show and tell again. Let me pull up my the thing I'm working on right now. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll pull up this. And we'll pull up, where's the other one here? Over here. Okay, so we want to look at, oh, this is a pain. Okay, how do we do this? Okay, so let me set this up here so we can take a look at it. So the project, I'll show you the project that I've been working on for class. There you go. So this is 300 Tang poems. The famous collection of Tang Dynasty poetry that was assembled, I think it's 17th century. Anyways, I designed this document around like displaying poem 102 by Li Bai or Li Po, a famous poem called seeing a friend off, and Song You Run. So that's the Chinese, and so what I wanted to do is I wanted to display the poem. I have to fix this part so it highlights properly and changes color when you mouse over and when you select, which tab you're in. And I also have to finish filling out the notes section. But so there's let's see here. Let's see if I can pull this over so I can see your chat too. Yeah, so anyways, there's the poem, and then they have there's content then for the form. This is a discussion of the poet form. This is a bio of the poet with additional links. And then over here we have the translations, and this content, the translation and about the translator and the links, these are all separately stored in the JavaScript, which, like I said, is a little weird because this was all supposed to be XML. So there's that. And so let's see if we can see what that looks like with the notepad. Let's see here. Okay, and pull up this. Okay, so you can see my code. So all this is to represent, this represents the Chinese poem, which you can see back here again. Did I already close that? Let's see here. Okay, so this alternates with this. So this is a grid with all the information about the individual characters. And this version just shows the Chinese, but actually has tooltips with the same information when you mouse over the individual characters. So this is less obtrusive. This feels more like you're just reading the poem, and then if you can't remember the character, what it means, you can just mouse over it, versus like if you wanted the whole grid in front of you, usually this is because you're an English speaker who doesn't speak Chinese or doesn't speak very much Chinese. You might want the whole grid in front of you, versus maybe you're someone who has studied Chinese in the past, maybe is partially or completely fluent, and just wants a slight reminder about different things. All this. So, yeah, so what does that look like in terms of the code? That's where it gets kind of crazy. So these are the ones that, instead of storing this in XML, these are all in these arrays with these, basically they're, I can't remember the proper term for this, but basically they have these key pairs here, so you can pull out, they're maps, basically, is what they are. Yeah, so then these are maps, and then it also, like, you could also pass in an object, and then it will export it out as HTML, so it does all the formatting for you. Yeah, so anyways, that's what that one looks like. And then I ran into other interesting problems, which is that in CSS there are there are keywords for different color. So like, rather than using the hex for the color, they have reserved words for different colors, and you could use them in CSS, but they don't work in JavaScript. So then you have to be able to keep track of the different colors you were using in your scheme. And yeah, so that's kind of what was going on in there. But this is so much more. Like, the use of JavaScript for this assignment was simply to handle like buttons, right? Buttons and other interactions. The fact that I ended up coding a way to duplicate the effect of pulling from an XML file is way, way, way beyond. And so the other thing I did for the database design class was I wrote a program, a JavaScript program. This is kind of crazy here, and I would do some of this differently here. But basically, we wanted to have error-free, logically consistent, and internally consistent data sets for testing our database. And so I wrote a JavaScript program that then allows me to generate, I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. So pull this back up, and we will, that's not what I want. So this is show and tell for like going way overboard in what you're doing. Let's see. Yeah, again, way overboard. So this is like a random data set generator. And it generates the customer list and the products that are being sold. This is for an RPG dice shop. So products, shipping, sale, order details, billing, loyalty tier, loyalty membership, wish list. And so you could set like the number of customers, let's say 20. Let's say you wanted to have an offering of like maybe 15 different, well, we'll flip these around. 15 customers, 20 products, and maybe there's been like 20 orders so far. You have a couple repeat customers. And so then it produces the table, and then all the names, if you look really carefully, these are a variety. It's very diverse in its names. It has like names that are based on Korean and Japanese names, but it also has names that are leveraging my fantasy role-playing game name generator. So like, let's see if we can get an example here. Marie Hawkwind, right? Or Brent Murmur Glimmer. It's like, or Ulraya Grund, right? But it then also produces like actual like email addresses for them, and then all the phone numbers use legitimate Canadian area codes, and legitimate Canadian number codes, area codes, and then it also invent names for the products. So the name generator also produces like unique names for the products and their descriptions. And then the orders, once it creates an order, it creates a shipping record for the order. The order has like, if the order contained multiple items, then the details will show up here in the order item details. And then it tracks like the billing dates. And you'll note that the dates are reflective of like, this is earlier in time than the, let's see, or at least it's supposed to be. Oh, sale order is first, then the shipping comes later, and the billing is after the sale order. And then some of them choose to be loyalty members, and then so it randomly chooses some to be loyalty members based, and then it tracks their annual purchases, and then ranks them, and then it also tracks like which ones might have products that they put on a wish list. Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's hidden again. So anyways, I was just saying, so it spews out like the JavaScript program I wrote for the database design class spews out all this data. Yeah, this is way over engineered. It's like this is way over engineered. Yeah, like everything I do is really to entertain myself. And secondarily to address the need of like I said, like if you've been around long enough, like I talk a lot about Charles Babbage, and it's partly because I find in him something of a kindred spirit that like he's always looking at something and thinking like, how can I make this more complicated? Or if I were to do this ridiculous thing, how would I do it? And then like you start strategizing and coming up with a way to do it. And you forget to ask the question, does it need to be done? Does it need to be done? It's like, or should I finish the thing I'm already working on, right? Is the other question I really should have been asking, Yeah, we already hit the point where it was sufficient. Yes. So, like I should have spent more time this weekend working on some of my other school related projects, but I actually spent a couple days instead looking at my old RPG generators that I wrote in JavaScript a number of years ago, and I wrote them really quick and dirty and very messily in terms of like I look at the code and it's just such a mess because they were all proof of concept things. They were all things that I was like, I wonder if it would be possible to do this, or I wonder if I tried this approach, could I create a better generator, or wouldn't it be nice if I had a generator that did this, and then I would throw it together quickly, test it out, and then be happy with the results. And now, like having done these two fairly, they're not super complicated. Well, I guess they are kind of complicated projects. Made me want to go back and revisit those generators and think, is there a cleaner way to do this? Reader, the answer is yes and no. Like I look at some of the new implementations as I've shifted some of those approaches over to an object-oriented approach. I'm like thinking this has made it actually cleaner and messier at the same time. Messier in the sense that because it's not just referencing a bunch of like arrays, like everything before was just a bunch of arrays. And instead now I've shifted some of those to be like locked inside of objects so that they only need to exist if the object is created. Um, and also so that the object methods can, just handle some of the work a little bit more neatly. It seemed like a cool idea at the time, but it's definitely meant that I'm like feeling like maybe I really should just migrate over to something like Perl, or not Perl, to Python, which will allow me to write modules that can just be like, I could store each of these separately as a piece of code that gets pulled in, because JavaScript doesn't really do that very well. It's you end up having to, if you want them to work with each other, yeah, it gets kind of messy. So yeah, yay. So yeah, so the great thing about the dataset generator is that we run it, and we could just copy and paste the SQL code directly into like what is it, DB browser, and we can run it immediately with no errors. And that any queries we do we could trust that they're all internally consistent, that they're not violating anything behind the scenes. Which unfortunately, when you create those by hand, and especially if it's a fairly complicated interaction between multiple tables at the same time, you could end up introducing errors that are your errors and not the problem with the SQL code. So yeah, so I think that was a big save for us. We could have a consistent starting point, and we could each do our testing in our group separately. We could test certain situations that went beyond what we needed to do for the class, just so we knew that it was working properly. Yeah, so that was really good. So, anyways, that's my little show and tell. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's good to have projects like this. I'm like excited to get back into working on my interactive fiction game. I have a Twine game that I've been working on for a while. And really, like, when I started school, it kind of took a backseat to school, obviously, and I haven't gone back to it. This summer, I'll have time again to work on it. I'm excited about that. I already know that I probably would do things differently if I were to start over again, but I'm not going to start over again. I'm just going to finish the version that's there, and then file away the lessons I learned for the next time I do an interactive fiction game in Twine. I might do things like, maybe I step away from the flavor. I'm trying to remember what they call them, but like, instead of working with Harlow and like doing all this behind the scenes JavaScript, maybe I go to what's the other one? I'm blanking out. Ice Cube, I think it is. That is really like more code friendly and less. Yeah, so Harlow's like this really makes it very pretty very easily, but it's much more complicated to create more sophisticated code behind the scenes. So yeah, I mean, to me, the most frustrating error that I ever found, a bug in my code when I was an undergraduate, I spent hours looking for this. Hours hunting through my code trying to figure out why it wasn't running. It just seemed to, like, it would compile and it would not execute something like in the middle of the program. And I was like, what in the world is going on? Why is it doing that? And then after like about 3 hours of staring at it, I came across the fact that there was a comma in the code that I didn't recall putting there. I was like, that doesn't need to be there. Comma in the middle of a line. Why was that there? And why did it not cause any problems? And so this led me to a new rabbit hole where I discovered, and I had no idea this was the case, that the comma in C++ can be used to signal that everything after this point in the line should not be executed. So it would compile up until that comma, and then it would just like drop off the rest of it, and then move down to the next line. I was like, who knew? Who knew? This is not really documented anywhere. I was like, what in the world? Yeah, I asked people about it. No one had ever heard of that. Never even seen it before. So it was like everything looked okay, except for there was this little tiny comma in the wrong place. So it shouldn't have been there. It was like, oh, back in those days. C++ and the weird compiler errors I would get. I mean, the weird ones were like things like bad magic number 3. I was like, can you give me like a little bit more information? Because I have no idea what you're saying. Okay, so we have definitely rambled on too long. We should read one poem before we go. I guess reading code is not the same as poem, but I would like to read one poem before we go. Let us see. Shall we choose the poem chooser? See what we got. Include. Okay, we'll do that. This one is... this is a poem from my book, Babbage's Dream, my second book of poetry. And I think it's just really... It's one of the poems that is inspired by a programming term, while also at the same time references or explores the life of sort of the modern programming world, programmers, and sort of tech spaces. Trying to give us a sense of what that world is like. And where am I here? Include. Oh, there it is. 39. 39. Okay. And I am... It's late. My eyes are tired. So the reading glasses are coming out. Okay. Include a directive to the compiler to insert the contents of an external file or code library at this location. Call and will appear, a strange assembly of characters gathered in the library space, like ghosts, or around a makeshift table formed of a door, a sawhorse, and 2 filing cabinets laid prone on the floor. Each of us in a class of our own, our names and histories kept to ourselves as if to preserve a little corner away from the stern gaze of those who plod the aisles, worrying their ways back to distant desks and offices with views of the city we scarcely know. Our lives spent instead engaged in the work of the mind, the transcribing of one logic into another. We are refugees of sorts, castaways who wash up unexpectedly on the same shore. Our new world nothing more than the cobbling together of the remains of others. Warehouses filled with empty bookcases, stained whiteboards, vending machines, the dull hum of the air conditioning fans whirring their lullabies overhead. All around us, cast-off machines, broken keyboards and mice, a cornucopia of wires, and the low swinging bulbs that in the dark seem to form a constellation of tiny nameless stars. How they hang there above our heads, faltering, holding on, everything waiting for some final revelation to make itself useful, to give itself a place to go after the power goes out, after there's nothing left to burn within. In the halls, marshaled in a gallery of the disconnected and unstable, every heart that we pass is as inextinguishable and unknowable as our own. So, that's include. And if you listen carefully, you will hear lots of programming references. So yeah, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, this kind of fits in with a lot of our discussion tonight. My complaint, especially too, about like not being able to include certain things in code. But I also think it's very much like, behind the poem here, that reference there to like tables and desks made out of a door, a sawhorse, and 2 filing cabinets. That's how the first company I worked for. I guess the company I worked for when I was a programmer in the games industry started off in much more of a startup space, right? So this old warehouse, and it really was, all our desks were really not desks. They were just like wooden doors laid on top of like sawhorses or filing cabinets. And, there was this whole labyrinth of empty bookcases that formed, our cubicle spaces. We had no cubicles. We were just separated by empty bookcases. And then eventually we got bought out and incorporated into a larger company and moved and consolidated into into this building that was closer to LAX and in a tower. And then we had to deal with managers that were like, usually about 3 or 4 floors away from us. And then their managers were like in France, and it was a multinational, conglomerate. And we were very, very isolated and cut off. But I think back to that early sort of like startup feel where like everything was just labyrinth of old machines, things just cast off on the side. And then we were there too. And we were like, how obsolete are we going to be, soon? That anxiety about whether or not we'd be replaced or cast off. And then just trying to find our way through. So that's kind of what's happening there. But yeah, I seriously have, to this day, I still don't know what Bad Magic number 3 means. I know it's bad though. It's probably a really, really deep memory error of some sort. But yeah. Okay, so we should wrap up here and find ourselves a person that we can go raid. Let's see here. And then I'm going to get some sleep. Well, I have to do some edits on my code for tomorrow's presentation, and then I think I'll get some sleep. So let's see who is up here. Chimi, Slid Holmes, Nebs, Slinger No Guns, Bear Claws? Who is Chimi? Maybe we'll raid Chimi. They're doing the hunted. Anyone have a recommendation? Yeah, no, I think okay, we'll do Chimi then. I think that's the thing with poetry though. It's like good, well-written poetry is going to leave you with more questions and more things to think about than okay. Is that a deal breaker? All right. Well, we'll mix it up. It'll be a contrast. All right, we'll do that then. Let's see here. We'll go raid, and I will get some rest after this. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get this raid underway shortly. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. We will be back again tomorrow night. And hopefully we'll have Astrid still around for another another few days. We'll see. Gotta find that bedroll. That's next up. Take care.